Hello viewers, welcome to Women Now, America's first South Asian TV talk show. Today we are going to start our show by wearing our golf shoes and then our dancing shoes. Also Chloe Coscarelli, the award-winning vegan chef who's taking the world of vegan food to the next level. We would also like to take this opportunity to welcome our new Star India Plus viewers. Hope you enjoy our show as much as we do bringing them to you. When we come back, Nidhi will talk to Junior Tiger Woods. You don't want to miss him, so stick around.
So Manesh, do you play golf?
Well, I wouldn't call it playing golf. Now, I do live at a country club with many Olympic courses, but the last time I played, they asked me to leave. So.
Well, you know, I took classes and I have to say I'm a hacker. Now, those that play golf will understand that terminology. But today, we have a very special guest. A young man, all of 11 years old, Aditya Kumar. Aditya won the Veritas World Junior Golf Final Qualifying Tour. And this victory qualifies him into the Veritas World Junior Golf Championship, which will be played in July. So Aditya, thank you for coming on our show. And Manesh, I forgot to tell you, personally, this is like an honor for me because I have known this young man since he was,
all but 11.
All but 11, let's say, forever, pretty much. So Aditya, let's start with, how long have you been playing golf?
I've been playing golf for about 5 years.
Yeah? And do you enjoy it?
I enjoy it very much.
How often do you play? During the week? And I know you also go on tournaments. In fact, I think he's going to one tomorrow, right? Yes. So how often do you play golf?
Including the weekends, I play golf about 5 days a week.
Yeah. Wow. And what about tournaments?
Tournaments, in tournaments it happens like alternative weeks.
Yeah, yeah.
And in the summer, they have it almost every day.
Oh, really? And then when you travel and you go on tournaments, does that mean you get to skip school?
Yes, pretty much.
Oh, so that's like your free pass. Now let's go back to the beginning. You said you've been playing for about 5 years. You grabbed your sticks or your golf clubs at the age of 6. Is that what I should understand?
Yes.
What was it that led you to believe or inspired you to pick up those golf clubs at the age of 6? That's like amazing.
It was all my parents. They were the ones that motivated me to play the sport golf, and I really enjoyed it when my dad told me it was a great sport about mind and body. And to that sport, you have to use your mental game. It's 50% mental game and 50% body.
So
I really enjoyed it.
So now that you've been playing for so long, is it you that gives your dad tips on how to improve his golf game?
Yes.
You do?
That's awesome. Now let's start from the morning. Let's talk about a day in the life of Aditya Kumar. You wake up on Monday. What do? What's your typical day?
When I wake up, I brush my teeth, do all that normal routine. Then I go downstairs and I pick up the weights and I do my routine. Okay. I do 25 push-ups a day.
Every morning?
Every morning. Swing a 5-pound golf fan, 60 swings, and do those there's like this kind of string object, which is
so wherein you hold your golf club and you keep practicing and the
keep
ball just swings back.
Yes.
And this is all what time now? What time do you typically wake up in the morning?
About 6:45 in the morning.
And then you do this all before school. What time does school start?
8:20.
So you have like about an hour and a half to do all of this every morning, roughly. Then you go to school, typical day, lots of work. Finish the day. What do you do after school?
After school, I finish my homework and my dad takes me to practice. And I hit some golf balls at the driving range for about 4 to 5 hours.
Now there is one thing I'm very curious. I mean, I know it is amazing. I mean, that's like, I thought I had a busy schedule, but his is quite amazing. But you do, I know we talked earlier and you said you enjoy playing golf, right?
Yes.
How do you manage all the school homework and all the good stuff that you miss out on when you're traveling on tournaments?
Oh, before I travel, I
Yeah.
finish my homework on that day.
Uh-huh.
So then I wouldn't have to take it to the hotel and do my homework.
Oh, wow. So you finish everything before you head off to a tournament.
Yes.
Now, do you have a favorite golf player and why that person?
My favorite golf player is Tiger Woods, and I like him because of his characteristics and his like focus to the game. If he hits a bad shot, then
Yeah.
he totally forgets about it and goes to the next ball and plays well and shoots a 68 every round.
Now, he hasn't been as well lately, right? He just recently lost to Phil Mickelson. Do you think that, if you had any advice to give Tiger, what would you give him? What would you tell Tiger to do?
I'll tell Tiger to practice more.
Okay, do you think he's not practicing enough?
No.
Okay, well that's...
Well, I hope Tiger's watching.
Tiger, I hope you're watching, and you've got some good advice here. Now, let's talk briefly about what's coming up. What do you have coming up this year, like over the next tournaments for the summer? What's coming up this summer?
I have a lot of regionals and tour championships to go to, like at Pinehurst in North Carolina, and tomorrow I'm even going to Arizona for a desert shootout.
Oh, wow. And so that's your typical schedule, though, but you have tournaments that are already, lined out for you for the whole year. You already know where you're going.
Yes.
Well, Aditya, it's been such a pleasure having you on our show, and I can see that like your hero, Tiger, you sort of carry your hat everywhere as well. So thanks so much for coming on the show, and I wish you the very, very best when you would play for the World Championship in July. And don't forget,
Be sure to give me your autograph before you go, because I know you're going to big places.
and when you get there, remember us, darling.
You were on our show. Don't forget that.
Well, the word vegan simply means non-dairy vegetarian food. There's a new wave of veganism that provides healthy eating choices. Vegan cupcakes, vegan chocolates. How? Let's find out.
Our guest today is the first vegan chef in history to win the Food Network's Cupcake Wars. She's made vegan recipes look delectable, hip, and accessible. So let's welcome Chloe Coscarelli. Chloe, thank you so much. It's such a delight to have you on our show.
Thank you, Liddy. This is so much fun.
Yes, it is. So, Chloe, what is vegan?
Vegan cooking is cooking without any meat or fish, but also with no animal products. So no butter, no dairy, no cheese, no eggs.
Now, are you are vegan?
I am vegan.
So
yes.
what initiated you to turn vegan?
You know, Nidhi, when I was younger as a child, I went vegetarian because I always loved animals. I always had dogs at home, and it just didn't feel right for me to be loving my pets and then eating animals for dinner. So that was initially why I went vegetarian. And then somewhere along the line, I made the shift of vegetarian to vegan because I felt like vegan food was a little bit more exciting than vegetarian food. Oftentimes you see vegetarian food and there's a lot of cheese or a lot of cream and it feels really heavy to me. So for me going vegan, it just made the food a lot lighter, which left me more energized.
So does that also mean going vegan sort of in a way translates to going low calorie?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, when you're cutting out all of the saturated animal fats, you're automatically lowering your calories, no more cholesterol. So it is a great way to cut back.
Now, Chloe, you've sort of taken very popular American dishes and given them this healthy twist, right from macaroni and cheese to fettuccine alfredo, and you've adopted very authentic Indian, Mexican, Chinese dishes and given them a vegan twist. Now, can all these recipes be found in your book?
Yes, all of these recipes can be found in my new book, Chloe's Kitchen. And my book is basically a collection of what you just said. All of my favorite foods before going vegan, turned vegan, and made extra healthy.
Let's talk a little bit about, the Indian and the Chinese and the Mexican recipes that you have. Aren't they sort of vegan already by default, or what's the difference? How have you kind of transformed them and given them the Chloe touch?
Well, ethnic food tends to have a lot bigger variety of vegetables, of grains and beans, and so that does make it easier working with those kinds of cuisines. But oftentimes if you go to restaurants like a Mexican restaurant, maybe the beans will be made with pork or with lard, or in Chinese food there's a lot of fish stock and fish flakes, and so I think cooking it at home vegan style is a great way to ensure that you're only putting the purest vegan ingredients into your cooking, but you can still get that same great flavor. And in my book, I make a huge point to really make these recipes easy and accessible. I know sometimes when you are cooking ethnic cuisine, people feel like they have to go to a specialty supermarket, or the ingredients are expensive and they're not going to use it again. So I rely on everyday ingredients that are really accessible that you can just find at your local store.
Now, I have to admit, I'm a little baffled by, some of the ingredients that you've substituted. I mean, I looked at the recipe book and there's vinegar and coconut milk, and I'm like, really? Is it going to be the same taste?
It is. I know that it can seem a little strange. For example, in my cupcakes, my vegan cupcakes, the ingredient that I use to replace the eggs is vinegar. And I know that sounds a little bit gross.
I know, it's like cupcakes and vinegar sort of don't go hand in hand.
But you know what? If you just use a couple teaspoons of vinegar, you cannot taste it. The flavor completely bakes off. So all you'll taste is a delicious chocolate cupcake. And actually, the reasoning behind it is that a little bit of vinegar, the acid in that reacts with baking soda, and that causes a reaction to make the cupcake rise and be really moist and fluffy. So it's an amazing technique because everyone has a bottle of vinegar on hand in their kitchen, so you don't have to go out and buy anything special, and you can create this really delicious moist cupcake with essentially no fat.
Okay, I cannot wait to kind of try one of those, so we definitely have to do that before we wrap up. But now, how does one go vegan if someone wants to make that transition? How do you do that?
I always tell people, don't worry about making some strict change to your life. Instead, if you're thinking about it, try it. Try it once in a while. Maybe try cooking a meatless meal once a week. Try it twice a week. See how you like it. And don't get caught up in, oh, I could never give up cheese, so I don't want to try vegan food. That's okay if you can't give up cheese, but maybe just try a vegan meal, try a vegan mac and cheese and see if you like it, and just ease into it. Take it one step at a time.
Now, the kitchen and I have never been good friends, but I did take a peek into that recipe book and I'm like, even I may be able to cook that. So how did you come about, how do you make it so easy? Is it a tried and tested method? What is it that you do?
It's a very long process. It took me a couple years to write this book, and every single recipe went through really intense testing. And what I did was, after I tested a recipe, tens and tens of times, I would then go back to it and say, okay, now that this recipe is perfect, how can I make it even more simple? So once I would have my finished recipes, I'd go back and say, I want to get the ingredient list for this long to this long. So what ingredients are not so necessary? So I can just make this really simple, but still maintain the flavor.
So Chloe, you've won the Cupcake Wars, you have your first book out, and what next for Chloe Coscarelli?
Well, I'm just trying to share my book right now with as many people as possible. I want to show people that vegan food can be really easy and really delicious and accessible. So I just want to put my meals on dinner tables in as many homes as possible for now.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And we'll see what's in store for the future.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now, before we wrap up, I have a very special guest, and she has an important question to ask you. So let's bring her right on.
Okay.
So Chloe, here's our guest, Rhea Wardmark, my beautiful daughter, all of 7 years old, and she had a question to ask of you. What is it, Rhea?
So, I want to learn how to bake, and I know how to, and I want to know how to show everybody else how to make the ingredients I know.
Okay, that's a really good question, Rhea. Great question. So, in my cookbook, I have lots of recipes that are really friendly for kids. And so, I would suggest starting with your mom. Bake with your mom, bake with your friends. It's a great thing. When I was younger, I used to bake with my mom all the time. Sometimes my mom would do the baking and I would just do the eating. But it's actually really easy, and the best part is with vegan baking, you can taste the batter as you go along because we're not working with any raw eggs. So I think vegan baking is a great thing for kids. And if you have any friends in your class that have allergies to milk or eggs, that's very common now. You can share the cupcakes with them and you don't have to worry about it having any of those ingredients. So Rhea, do you want to try a cupcake?
Okay.
Let's do that. Now, can I grab one too?
Of course.
So what have you here, Chloe?
Right here I have chocolate cupcakes, and I put a little St. Patrick's Day frosting on them. And then I have Buckeyes, which is peanut butter rolled with a little powdered sugar and dipped in melted dark chocolate. So if you use dark chocolate instead of milk chocolate, it will be vegan, which is really easy to find. And I like the rich flavor of the dark chocolate anyways. So these are great for kids, great for birthday parties. And again, no soy, no dairy, no eggs, no milk. So.
Oh, wonderful. So why don't you get the cupcake and I'm going to try the Buckeye.
Okay.
Oh, wonderful.
Great. That's a nice big bite.
What do you think, Rhea?
Thumbs up? Yeah,
Good?
good.
You got the thumbs up? Well, thank you so much,
Good.
Chloe. It's been such a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Nidhi, and thank you, Rhea, for your great question.
Now, here's my favorite segment, Day of Dance, that welcomes the entire community to dance, celebrate good health, and learn about cardiovascular disease. It brings together women and men of all ages for a day of education, physical activity, community gathering, celebrations, and fun. Women Now is there to dance too. Let's take you there. Michelle, what is Day of Dance?
So Day of Dance is an opportunity for women to come and to move and to learn more about cardiovascular health, because cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer of women in the United States. It's not cancer, it's actually heart disease. So today people are going to learn about cardiovascular disease, what it is. They're going to learn new dances and know the importance of movement, and they're also going to get free health screenings related to their heart health. So whether it's blood pressure, cholesterol, glucose, those kinds of things. So women know their values and know if they're at risk for heart disease.
Now, I see a huge group of women out here today. What do they come to learn exactly, and what do they leave with?
Well, they come to learn new dances. You'll see a lot of people on the stage. You also see women learning about their risk factors and learning more about heart health. And then they learn what their values are from the screenings. Do they have high blood pressure? Do they have high cholesterol? Do they have high glucose counts? And then we advise them on what they should do in order to lower those values.
The Day of Dance is a gala event put on every year by El Camino Hospital to make the people of this area aware of the services for women and the preventive services, particularly preventive service for cardiovascular health.
Thousands of people attend this event. What do you think they want to learn?
Well, they probably, first of all, want to have fun, and this is a good way to do it. They're interested in dance. Many people dance for physical fitness. There are lots of other ways to be physically fit, but for women who are healthy, this is probably the most enjoyable thing to do.
I run a dance fitness company called Bali to Be Fit, and I've been doing this event for the past, this is the third time, right? And Navisha actually is the one who brought us here.
So I serve on the for the Women's Hospital, the Community Advisory Board. And as a Community Advisory Board member, we have to participate and give back to the community and participate in health events. So that's why I recruited Geeta. Been taking her class for 5 years, and she's fabulous.
Awesome. So where is your class based?
At Serenity Dance Studio. It's in the Bay Area.
Awesome. So can you show us a little Bollywood dance move?
Raymond, today it's all about women dance. Why women? Are we at higher risk?
Well, I think it's more for so many years, the focus was on heart disease in men, and we've learned that women are different, obviously. Their presentation of symptoms concerning pain and the focus of making sure that the treatments really work for women as well as they work for men. So the focus right now is for women who are the caretakers many times. They're so used to taking care of everybody else that it's time for them to start also taking care of themselves and people focusing on their health. And so I think for multiple reasons, women have been either partially neglected, and now we need to focus on that to really help make sure their health is taken care of as well.
Well, you're a vascular surgeon. Now tell me, what gap do you see between women really knowing what's happening to them and ignoring it?
Well, I think women are starving for information. They have concerns, they have fears, anxieties about what's going on with their health. And of course, as I mentioned, they're taking care of their mothers, their families, and so they're all over the map sometimes. They need some advice and counsel from people to help guide them, to let them know what's a minor symptom of irrelevance or whether something really needs to be taken care of urgently.
Those who seen us know that not a thing can come between us. Many men have tried to split us up, but no one can. Lord, help the mister who comes between me and my sister. And Lord, help the sister that comes between me and my man.
Remember today, for it is the beginning of always. In the words of Walter Winchell, today marks the start of a brave new future filled with all your dreams can hold. Think truly to the future and make those dreams come true. See you next week, same time, same place. Until then, take care.